Hi, I'm Misha, and if you're new here, I'm working on a first draft of a novel. Today I really wanted to talk about monthly writing goals. I know that when this video is published, it will likely be a little bit into July, but today it is July 3rd, and I set this goal for myself July 1st. This is a little bit new for me because I haven't done this before. In other drafts that I've written, I have typically set my own timelines and my own goals. For the month of July, I really want to see if I can write 50,000 words and almost do a July July Arimo. That would mean at the end of this month, I would surpass 70,000 words of my novel. In August, I can hopefully complete it. My goal is that I complete the first draft by the end of August or very beginning of September. The way that that would work out timeline-wise is because in September, I'm going to London to visit my sister and hang out with my nephews. And so if I finish the first draft, it's kind of a timed out break that I would naturally be able to set for myself, because what I find is the hardest part about finishing a first draft is not going in right away with edits. It's taking that meaningful pause so that you have space from your story and then you can come back to it and read it as a whole, which is also something I struggle with. However, we will get to that. So I'm currently at 24,132 words, and on June 30th, I finished at 20,785 words. That would mean my goal for July 31st would be 70,785 words in total. So, I've never done this before, but I think what's really exciting is, one, I think being on this platform is actually forcing me to push myself in ways that I maybe haven't in the past, especially when it comes to word count goals. I've always been a fan of word count goals, but as I've mentioned in previous vlogs, I haven't really had consistently high word count goals. My typical word count goal daily that I set for myself is 500 words a day up to 1,000 words a day, which is manageable and it feels good. What I've found is that setting these 10,000 words by the end of the week, it's really pushed me to be able to break into my novel quicker. And every time I feel like I am getting to a point that's a bit sticky, that's going to need some work, I'm able to push past it. I'm able to work through it and better find solutions because I'll stick with it for longer instead of giving it a little bit more breathing space, which is always a balance, I find, figuring out when is a good time to sort of step away and do something different so that you can figure out the problem by not focusing so hard on it versus when to push through. I find that to be one of the hardest things to decipher, but I'm really noticing that the pushing through is working for me. So I want to maintain that. I've never done the 50,000 words in a month, but given that I've been writing 2,000, 3,000 words a day, not every day, but especially to meet the goals that I had each week, I was able to do it. I want to see if I'm able to do this. I don't know if I will be, but I want to try. I really want to try finishing the first draft by the end of August because it would just work out so well timeline-wise. Of course, if I'm not able to, and if it ends up being a lot longer than I expect it to be, because I'm a pantser, so I tend to overwrite, and there's a lot of cutting and deleting that I do in the second draft. If I'm still not at the end, that is okay, but I want to be. No matter what, I want to be able to fully turn off for the week that I'm in London so that I can be with family, so that I can spend time with my nephews and take advantage of that. I live in Canada, so going to see them is something that I do once or twice a year when I can, and I really want to make the most of it and really soak up the time when I'm there. So I want to get as much writing done before I go, and I think I can do it. I think I can do it. Something else I'm really hoping is that I get clearer about the direction. There's a point at which the direction of the story can shift in two different ways. And I've been contemplating what direction that might be, and I don't know yet. So that's something I really want to think through, especially because I don't want to take it one way and then realize that's not the direction and then have to do a rewrite for like the second half. I really want to be fairly clear about the ending. The great part about discovery writing is it typically leads you there, but I do have a tendency to question myself a lot. Every time I get into writing mode, I forget that I'm able to just figure it out as things happen. I always question whether I'll be able to do it this time, and then I'm able to do it, and it feels so magical. July 1st was not a great start to July Rimo or the 50,000 words a month that I'm doing because I was sick and my allergies were just going off. I had so many plans for that day because I have it off, but I wasn't able to really get much done. Like I think I wrote maybe 300 words, which I was like, I'm already behind. It's day one, and I'm already behind on this goal that I set for myself. But I have to remember that on weekends I have most of my days because I don't have to work. I am trying to keep that in mind, especially if I have off days, because earlier in the week, I just don't have the same amount of time. I work at a human rights organization and I love what I do, so I'm working really hard at work. And so when I finish, I'm then trying to switch into working really hard at writing this book, which can get a little bit challenging depending. I'm having so much fun with this story. It's a sapphic psychological thriller that I'm writing. And so it's quite dark, but I'm feeling so excited about it all the time. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I was trying to work through this one scene, and I knew this scene would exist before I even started writing. This is a scene that I dreamt about. I asked a lot of questions about it. It's a dream that really haunted me, and I knew as soon as I woke up that I needed to write it down because this is a part of my book. So now that we have reached the point of writing that scene, I really wanted to avoid it because it was just so emotional for me. I don't usually shy away from heavy, emotional, dark scenes, but there was something about this specific one, which it's not even the darkest thing that's going to happen, but it is a point in the book where a certain character is revealed a little bit. You get to know them on a deeper level. You get to know this relationship dynamic, this family dynamic in a deeper sense than you knew earlier on. Writing it, I just kept pausing and I was like, I'm not going to write this right. It feels too heavy and I was trying to avoid it. On July 2nd, yesterday, I just sat with it, and after work, I was like, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to either do nothing or write this scene. And those are my only options because I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And it could come out clunky. And no matter what, I'm going to have to go back in and do some heavy revisions for that scene just because it carries a certain weight. I don't know if it's just for me or if in the book it'll carry that same weight. Maybe it will. I don't know yet, but there's something about this scene that's really, really difficult for me. So I actually did end up writing it. I don't know if it flowed. It felt like clunky writing it, and I felt nervous writing it and emotional writing it, and it just brought up a lot of gunk for me. But I wrote it, and then after I wrote it, it was like, I was flowing again. And I know that I'm gonna have to revisit that scene, and I've sort of flagged it on the side for myself that I need to come back to it because I'm gonna have to do some more revisions. I'm going to have to shift some of the way that I worded it, like I'll have to do for the rest of the draft. I mean, no biggie, but there's something about this scene that really shakes me, and I really felt that as I was writing it, but I don't know if I captured it within the writing. And, you know, that's the point of second drafts and third drafts and fourth drafts, is that you're going to rewrite it. I'm gonna rewrite it and it's gonna get better. I'm so curious whether I will feel the same weight writing this scene or rewriting the scene when I revisit it. I don't know. Or maybe it's just because I'm doing it for the first time. Anyways, ever since I got through that, I feel like I am just back in it. I got through this, and if I can write that scene, then I can keep going. The inciting incident was just made so much more clear, and I have a lot of notes on my notes app of just how things have to fall for this to make sense. It's just coming together. So I'm really loving it. We'll see how July goes. One thing that is going to be added to my plate in July is I've been taking dance classes this year. So I've mentioned earlier on in some of my videos that this year has really been my year of confidence. A year of just basically going a little bit outside of my comfort zone, which is typically to keep things a little bit more private, to not share what I'm working on or what I'm doing, and kind of hermit a little bit. Something that I really thought would support that journey is dance classes. Dance classes are something that I've always wanted to do, but when I was a kid, we weren't able to afford it. And I'm mentioning this in this monthly writing goals video because I also think that writing doesn't just exist in a vacuum. There's so many layers of your life that add to your writing, and I think I just noticed how much my lack of confidence was impacting my work and my creativity, and not wanting to share it or not wanting to put it out for others to see or to talk about it or to join AuthorTube. I am continuing to want to take those classes. I had about a month break, and then the next chapter starts on Monday, July 7th, I believe. I'm going to correct that date. I'm bad with dates, I don't know. I always say the wrong dates. I think it's Monday, July 7th or something. I always put 100% into most things that I do. I go to rehearsals with some of the other people from my dance class and practice quite a bit. I just want to see how that time management piece goes, and I want to structure it a little bit so that I am intentional with keeping writing at the forefront of my month of July so that I can meet that goal of 50,000 words. But I do feel like dance is supportive, just like how working out supports my writing because it supports my mental health, and that impacts my creativity and all of that. So that's the only slight challenge of July, is that I will have work, writing goals, YouTube editing, and dance classes. We have a performance at the end. I usually train quite a bit for that performance. I'm just not good at learning choreo quickly, so it takes me a little bit to really understand the moves, and then I have to start working on technique once I understand the flow of the moves. Hi, Frida. Hello. Hello, my baba. Please don't. These are some of my goals for the month of July. Please let me know in the comments below if you have any goals that you set for yourself this month. I'd love to learn whether they're based on word counts or whether you're in revision, what part of your writing project you're in. That's all I have for you today. You will see some writing blogs fairly soon, and let's see if I can meet that 50K. Let's see if I can do it. I don't know. I'm gonna try my best. I've never done that before. Well, I've tried my best before, but I haven't done the 50K in a month before. I'm gonna go. I'll talk to you all very soon. Bye.